Howdy, folks, and welcome to another day in the Milky Way. And tonight we got a great show. And with me tonight is Trina Phoenix, my co-host, and we're waiting for Courtney McMahon to come on. And she's having a little technical problems with Stars in the Morning Light, and she will be here very shortly. So welcome, everybody. Tonight we are going to be talking about the Maui fire in Lahaina. So with all of that, Trina, what do you have to say about that? I'm going to turn this off.
Oh, first of all, my heart and my prayers go to all the people of Lahaina and all the people in Maui, because this is affecting everybody there. It's just so sad and tragic. My heart breaks and lots of questions. Where are all the kids? There's just a lot of questions.
You know what I heard tonight is I was doing a little research on some of this, and the guy says, yeah, the kids are all missing. They don't want to acknowledge the kids are there. And then they find out that there's 15 buses that are missing. Well, any idiot can put two and two together and say, buses missing, kids gone. Yeah. Who steals 15 buses? I could see one or two not accounted for, but 15 boats in the harbor burnt. How do you burn boats in the harbor? I could see maybe a rowboat, maybe catching fire or something, but multiple boats burning in the water.
Yeah, and what's this weirdness with the blue? It's very strange.
Yeah, the houses with the blue roofs not burning.
And the cars and the boats. The only boat that didn't burn was blue.
Yeah, isn't that strange enough?
It's baffling. It's really baffling. Yeah, there's just so many questions, and it seems like we've been seeing a lot of fires, just super a lot of fires. And they don't seem like they're fitting normal criteria for heat, and then to not burn bushes right next to them, and then the car is completely incinerated, and there's just so much weirdness, just weirdness.
It is. And that's the thing is it keeps going on, and there's Courtney, no picture yet, huh?
I can't figure it out, guys. I don't know what's going on.
Keep working.
Well, at least we can hear you.
Yeah. Keep fiddling with stuff. You have to go back out and come back in. Like I said, you go right ahead. But you'll figure it out. Like I said, there's we're tonight we're going to try to raise a little bit of money to help those people in Lahaina out. Now, here's the thing. We're not donating. You will not be donating to some big corporation who will spend your money frivolously and pay their helpers thousands upon thousands of dollars to stay in some luxury hotel while they don't do much in anything for the people. This is all going through Courtney. She knows people. She's going to get the money right to the people that are going to help. Courtney, can you explain a little bit of this in between trying to figure out your camera?
Courtney, are you there?
Yeah, I'm actually at least just trying to take a picture to see if my camera's working, so you have a picture of me.
Lucky Stone says my security software blocks my camera and microphone. So you might want to go into your security stuff of your computer and see if it's blocking that.
Well, and I also have to tell you guys that since I started this project, things have been not moving fast with. It's just it hasn't been moving well with internet. In all sorts of different communication. So it's fascinating. I guess there's a picture of me at least.
Yay!
Oh, there you go. At least we got some. That worked.
And it's odd because I use this all the time with my show. Even to the point that whatever videos I have been putting out about this, maybe 10 views, maybe 20. No matter what social media I'm using, it's just that part has been frustrating. And also the aspects too that, there's the people out there that they do quick searches for those who are saying donate, benefit, that sort of thing. And then they'll pop up in the chat and be like, oh, you're so beautiful. You're so, well, thank you. I know I am, because they're trying to want to woo me in some way of doing that sort of thing when that's not, I'm not the, uh, I will not fall for anything like that. So it's odd because Robert, I was just with you last week and my camera,
Yep.
everything worked fine.
Yeah. Well, and
Every-
you've had shows since then, and I've seen you on these shows where
Yep.
you've had your
fine.
camera working.
Yep.
Like
So
the only thing I can say is you'd have to go out, reboot, restart your computer, do a restart, and then come back in. That always helps. Maybe it updated. Has it updated in the last couple of days or anything?
oh, I don't know. I mean, I have like multiple devices, so I don't know if.
Well, you're obviously running off either a computer, a tablet, or your phone.
Yeah.
And if you have one of them and it doesn't update at some point in time, then things don't work. So you need to. The only way to make it work then is to shut it completely off and turn it completely back on.
I can try that, guys. If you want.
You can. We can hold down the ship, right, Trina? We've done it before.
We can do it.
We got lots of stuff to talk about. So no problems.
Oh, as well, So, how about we'll try it? And I'll ask my husband. He's semi guy in the household.
Okay,
So
yeah. Ask the man. He might be technically solvent there.
All right.
Okay.
See you soon.
Yes. No problem. Okay.
So,
well, let's talk conspiracies.
Yeah, why not? Right? It's
Yeah.
fun. It's fun to speculate of the theories of the unknown and mysterious.
I got a video link sent to me by our one and only Amber Dawn, who was, wow, that video blew my mind. They had so many things on there. Garbage cans, sitting right next to houses, and those the garbage cans are plastic and they didn't melt.
We have plastic trash cans in Arizona that have melted from the sun. So
yes, that was the thing.
That's not normal either. Like I said, I've been noticing weird phenomena like this for quite a while. The Paradise fires too. You look at all these different fires, they have so many of these same strange anomalies.
Yes. And that's the thing. If it was just the Paradise fire, everybody speculated over that. And then it was like, well, if that's just a one-time deal, well, you can get over that. But now you got the same thing happening here. And it's like, wait a minute. Now we got two comparisons. It's like, how many times does this have to happen before people start kicking in and saying, wait a minute? I was also watching Dr. Kaku or whatever his name is, the gray-haired guy, scientist guy. Anyway, 9 years ago, he was on the CBS show talking about weather weapons and pretty much saying that, yeah, they use weather weapons all the time to direct hurricanes. We send lasers into the sky, and they either make it better or worse, move it to one side and I'm thinking, well, wait a minute, here. And then I researched the Maui thing, and they're talking about how, the humidity was way up and this and that. Well, or no, it was way low. And really it was like 75 when it was supposed to usually average is 61. So it wasn't. Then you look at the trees. The one guy was talking about how a palm tree literally, you probably have palm trees where you're at. They literally burst into flames because they literally, once they get dry, they're full of oil and paper. They're like paper, burning paper. And he says they just burst into flames. Well, what do you mean they just burst into flames? Well, they're right next to these houses and they ain't even burnt. They're still green. Figure that one out. The streets.
I personally have experienced this. We had the rim fires, about 7 years ago. And we had 3 old antique cast iron wood burning stoves, and they all melted, Robert.
Yeah.
They don't burn. They don't burn with fire. They're built to, and the flagstone fireplace, it was 2 stories tall. It
Yep.
was only 10, like 7 feet of it was left. The rest of it was melted. Fireplace stone doesn't burn.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean,
Exactly.
these
It's
temperatures
made
are,
for
it's
fire.
not normal. And we have trees 10 feet from the structure that didn't burn.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's really strange. I mean, we've been seeing this now for about 10 years. I mean, people aren't realizing this is going through Australia. This is going through Canada. This is not one place. This has been going on for a while.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. These things have been happening, and people, they don't catch on. They, whatever, because it's only happening to you, and and then it's like, well, okay, and then you kind of shrug it off, like, well, but then now it's happening a lot. It's kind of like the food plants burning down,
Yeah.
and yeah,
Oh my gosh.
if it's just
How many
one,
are we up to now? I mean, what, 100 and something?
yes,
At
exactly.
least? I mean, I don't know
200.
how many. I know it used.
It's up to 200 now.
Oh my gosh, I was gonna say last time I knew it was like 179 or something, I thought, but now it's over 200. Wow.
Yes. Well, and here's the other thing. These things are happening, and you know people weren't giving it much attention, but then now that they're happening quite often, it's like those fires in the food plants. Well, an airplane ran into the place. Well, then 2 weeks later, another airplane ran into that doesn't happen. An airplane doesn't hit a food plant every week. I mean, what's the
And all the
chances of that?
all the
Mhm.
trains contaminating the soil and the water. This looks like it's strategic, and it looks like we might be under some type of internal attack that's like secret and hidden, like you can't see it, but it's happening. It might be like the new kind of war. Who knows? This is weird. I mean,
Oh
we've
yeah.
never seen anything like this. You have picture, and I think you have sound.
Do I have sound?
Yes,
Yes.
you do.
I figured it out, Robert, on the iPad. If I have my mic hooked up, it
Won't
knocks out.
work.
Yep.
Yeah.
Awesome.
There.
Well, you're there. Happy
So
now.
yes, it's gonna get hot in here though, because I then cover the air vents. So if I start
No.
burning up, it's just because
Oh.
the fire's on anyways. So
Yeah.
I thank you guys for accommodating all of that. I told my husband as I was like, fix it. Um, I told him, I said, Brad, since I've been starting this and getting the word out, I am having issues.
Yeah.
So
You
it,
know, they have new implementations that went in law August 25th.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, he said, Courtney, I don't doubt it. I don't doubt it. He's like, yeah, they don't like you right now. And I was like, I'm sorry you're married to this. Like, sorry.
Okay, so now that you're
Yeah.
on and you're in person and we can see your loving face here, tell us all about what is going on. Where are we donating this money to, and why, and who's going to help, as much as you can possibly tell us, so that people can get on board. Like it says, anybody who helps, even a few bucks, really
Yeah.
is going to go to the right place.
So I actually got an update last night,
Okay.
which is good. Like I said, communication goes slow through stuff like this. So when this first started with me in particular, I I felt like I needed to do something because, as we all know, we were watching nothing happening. No resources coming. So, to make a long story short, my brother from another mother lived on Honolulu for 20 years. He is just now recently back to the mainland, and I reached out to him and I said, "Hey, you know, all of us know not to give to the big organizations. And I come from the nonprofit world. That was, fresh out of college. I'm going to save the world. Let's get into nonprofit. Holy cow, that is not what's happening, right? We know this.
Mm-hmm.
The money's going straight to the top. And I said, I don't know what they need. So at that time, my buddy said, Courtney, right now they're loading up fishing boats, supplies from the other islands there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, give me a list, give me this, because I had all sorts of thoughts in my head. Clean underwear and socks, I had all sorts of thoughts. And he said, well, we'll get you a list. So last night I talked to him, and his buddy is emailed. So let me keep going. I think I actually have talked to this buddy on the phone before too, the one that he's hooking me up with.
Mm-hmm.
He talked to him last night, and the update is they actually have enough supplies right now. And I said, okay, Justin, what about, because you already have difficulty getting supplies to the island because of the laws that we have, right? That it has to go past the Hawaiian Islands to the California ports and then back to them, right? And he said, no, Courtney, I guess they are good. But what I will tell you, so what they've made is in different parts, like these makeshift tents in a way that people can come in and get the supplies. They were experiencing problems with looters. So there are now men taking turns standing guard 24/7 at these tents. I'm trying to give you all the information that I got last night, and we can talk more in depth about all sorts of stuff. So I said, okay, so they have supplies. What is needed then? And he found out this guy is going to put a list together of families, actual people that I can get money to, and or those that they trust on the island that will do the work, like conservation people or this and that are not like islanders. Because I'm working with all of, I have to go to my buddy Justin, but my buddy Justin's been with these people for 20 years. He was devastated. And so I'm getting an email probably, I would say mid next week, of either families and or those that the islanders trust. Because I've been seeing a lot of things that I think here's an example. So some of you might have seen Hawaii real estate guy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Posting a lot of stuff. Well, I don't know if everybody noticed that in one of those videos, he was holding up a Kenneth Copeland Bible. So that's scary in its own right. But also, I told my friend, I said, well, I've seen this guy and he's getting them reconnected to the internet and getting them transformers. And my friend said, what are you talking about? They have the internet. And I said, oh, we're all being told that there's no internet down there, that it's all been wiped out. And he said, no. Is it a little spotchy? But so is it in Missouri where I am right now. And I said, oh. And he said, why would somebody be buying them transformers? There's no reason for that. So what I'm trying to say is that who my friend Justin is, okay, we've been together, brother from another mother, since I was 16. We met on the way to a Smashing Pumpkins concert. We've been together, like I said, for that long. He has worked as a roadie his entire life, pretty much his entire adult life. So he was in the islands working that. Like I said, I think he was there for 18 years. His whole life is there. He has no other. I'm his family and them. So I'm in touch with actual natives there. So that's the biggest thing. That's like, we see all these videos and we see all these people that at first really look good. They really look great. And then the more you might watch or get information like that, he was like, why are internet? They have internet. Us people here on the mainland, we wouldn't know that. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
We wouldn't know that they have what they do have. Now, I will tell you, hands down, they are all saying, even my connection, and I found out other information too, like where are these people staying right now, so we can talk about things, okay? Um, I everybody, I guess, is saying they need support for lawyers. And and that whole land grab thing, that is a serious problem right now. So we can talk about that. And a lot of people might say, why lawyers? It's because of that kind of stuff. It's because they don't know what they're reading. And so I'm even afraid,
You
these big,
can't know what they're reading. It's
no,
legalese. Legalese is a different language.
whole different. I took when I was in case management in a nonprofit, very big, billion, multi-million, nonprofit. I actually took a paralegal class to be able to read that kind of material. And last night I was like, I need to read this emergency proclamation. I need to read. And it was like 10 o'clock at night. I said, Courtney, you need to stop because I'll start, but it's stuff like that. Even if they can get paralegals to help them, because I'm afraid as well as, we have some people that are, well, I'll just, Robert, I don't know if you mind, but I don't trust Oprah as far as I can throw her, and I can't even lift the woman. So I'm afraid that when she gives them the money, there's going to be paperwork attached to it. And none of them are going to be able to read that kind of stuff, or just throughout all of it. That is what's happening. And so, and we also have to understand, if it's just money and not supplies, it is still going to the people that lost their jobs. It's still going to to them. It is not going to anywhere else. There's no red tape in this at all. I mean, I'll be getting personal accounts. I mean, there's no red tape, or charlatans in the mix that say, I'm getting them internet service when there is internet service. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So get into it. I'm sorry, I had it so much more lovely in my brain until the internet started bothering me, which also has been an issue. So, Robert, since I started posting this stuff on social media, this and that, who knows what they're doing, but the word is not getting out there.
Mm-hmm.
Which is like, I'm such a little baby. Why would they even? But it's because they can hear what we're saying. So we can talk about it as well. The main thing too is tourism. They really do need. I guess when we think about tourism, we're not thinking about the maids. We're not thinking about the landscapers. We're not thinking about the chefs in those kitchens. We don't think about those people, and those are all the people that lost their jobs. Those are the backbone of their society, same as us here in the mainland. And I can get into it. If you guys have questions, if there's questions, we can really roll, because I mean, there's a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff.
Well, the thing is okay, so in a donation company or whatever you'd call it, like the Red Cross or whatever places are you're donating to, I do know that they by law can take 20-30% right off the top, if not more.
See, okay, this is what people really don't know. See, like I said, let's talk this for a minute, because that's the tragedy about all of it. And I'm happy. I've talked to some boomers lately, the blessed boomers, and some of them are understanding this now. So when I got out of college, I worked for Youth Build USA. It's a huge at-risk youth program, billions of dollars. All of them work this way. So the government will give tons of money to them. They will get tons of different grants. Tons of money, right? This is all political, and it's all political. You have to start playing the game to make it happen. Yeah. It's not just the big cut goes straight to the top automatically. Then you got to think of all the little red crosses across the way. Their executive director takes a huge cut, and all they're doing is playing politics. And I mean a huge cut. I was working 60-hour weeks for $28,000 a year. Run programs, case management, all of it. He was making 100-something grand, not doing any of the work. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So then you got another massive chunk. So huge chunk goes straight to the top. Then another massive chunk to the top of all the parts. That, I mean, thousands, hundreds, millions of dollars just going to the tops of the parts that aren't doing anything except playing the political game. And then it trickles down to some of the workers and some of the supplies and some of what's going on. But you got to think, even in a situation like this, when everybody fast donates, because I've watched it. I literally have watched. I got out of it. Because it was so sad. It was so sad. You know, and you're young and you're like, I'm going to help the world. And then you find out that nobody wants to help anybody. And it really is. Money laundering is huge in that system. It's a lot of stuff. So in a situation like this, we didn't see any of those people show up until well into the effect of things. They are there now. There's still not much happening with those people, with your big organizations. Now, some churches have showed up, but of course they also, it's interesting because when I ever hear about churches showing up, I think of Haiti. When I was actually a part of a church at that time, and they were like, we're going to Haiti when Haiti was destroyed by hurricanes, and we're going, the main thing was to change the Haitian, was to convert them to Christianity because they've been worshiping the devil for too long.
Wow.
And the culture.
Hidden agenda. Hidden agenda.
It was, and they were boldly saying it, that if we do X, Y, and Z, they're going to come to Christ and stop worshiping the devil. I mean, so I'm a little bit jaded with that. I don't think all of the people that are participating with the church is going, but even that is small. So right now, those who actually were the boots on the ground helping them are the guys that I'm in contact with. That's why communication's been choppy, because they've had to work their own jobs at the different islands and then still work long hours of getting the supplies on the boats, getting the boats to the place, or get them to Maui. It's all been inner island stuff. It's all been inner island coming together. Same as how we here on the mainland would, when stuff happens in Indiana, we all help Indiana. We can get there faster. We can support better because we're connected. This has solely been for quite a while now. And for the most part, so it's like, I don't want to say, I don't know, some of the churches might be doing something good. I don't know. I'm sure they're helping, right? In some way, shape, or form. But for the most part, no government, no even big guys were there, like Red Cross. FEMA's still not there, which is a good thing, or maybe they are. We don't know what's really happening in some of those areas. But the word on the street in the islands is that it's them taking care of themselves for right now. That people are starting to show up. And you got to think too, when they hear this stuff of now fundraisers are beginning, there's a lot of hope in the air, which is good. At the same time, though, they are still asking for a lot of legal help. So they're being very smart. Does that make sense?
That's got to be their first priority. Figure out how many people there to try to stake claims on their properties, because how many are dead, how many are still there.
Oh,
There's a
well,
lot of issues with Lahaina real estate. A lot of it's old. It doesn't have proper deeds. There's a lot going on with that.
yeah.
Legal
And
support is going to be their strongest help at this
yes.
point.
And the thing is too is, and as my friend was talking, he said, you know, and a lot of people don't understand, there's multi generations living under one roof.
Yep.
You could have 10 people living under one roof because that's the island culture. And I know he's telling me the truth because he would have been one of the guys that slept on your couch with you. You know, like it's the culture there. And
Yeah.
so now imagine if all of those 10 people lost their home, a big portion of them lost their job. It's more of a, and all the laws that were passed, what, 3 weeks before, in some of the historical districts in Lahaina saying if there's a disaster, we're not going to rebuild this.
Well,
So,
yeah, and then they've got all the leaked documents showing
yeah,
all of the 15-minute city pre-planning already being bidded on and estimated
yeah,
in for Maui in the Lahaina area.
yeah, yeah. It's so, that's why
Strategic.
it's very strategic. It's
Mm.
very, well, it is, in my opinion. I will tell you, if you ask one of them, any of the islanders, especially, well, those there, definitely, you know, so Justin asked him, he said, so what do you think about um, the conspiracy stuff? And these are people that, I am pretty sure I Zoomed with this guy once and we were having a couple of beers zooming. I think I know exactly who he's talking to, trust me. So, and his buddy said, you know, honestly, I don't know, man. And all of them will then follow it up with, I've never seen wind like that in my life. And that's the one thing that we can talk conspiracies. They don't even, how are they supposed to even wrap their heads around it? It was wind in like, my friends we're all 40 and 50. They've been there their whole life. They've never seen wind like that. So how are we really supposed to, you see what I'm saying? And at the end of the day, what does it matter if we are actually sending them the support and the help that they need? I mean, it's the people that, unfortunately, even when it is strategic, it is still the people that are affected, and it's people like us that can come together. And guys, I've already, even with all my computer problems, and I think there's some shadow banning stuff going on, I've already raised like $300, and I've gotten donations as low as 5 and as high as 50. I mean, and I've just started. I'm going to collect between this weekend and like and next weekend, really. You know, I got to start capping it off at some point. So close to about 2 weeks that anything. I know Lucky, thank you, Lucky Smith, in the chat. He's posting the link. And also, so you guys know, that is my work donation page. The reason I'm going that way, and it is PayPal, if you need to send money some other way, you can. I have grandmas sending me checks. So, I mean, we can work something out. If you need to do something other than PayPal, we can, but I wanted to do it solely this because any other of my systems, they take portions out. You know what I mean? Because it's business related. This is strictly all money donated goes to them. And I will document all of this for you guys too. I'm going to be doing updates at Stars of the Morning Light. Robert, you can have me back on if you want. I will also be, when I get the list of send it to these families, send it to this humane's organization. I'm not exactly sure which they want. He's talking to the people now. You know, because they know families. And it's like, what do you need? But also I will guarantee you some of it is going to go to Help for Legal because they're trying to band together like individual families are trying to band together to raise support for legal counsel to look and review at instead of individual. And even when that came up last night, I kind of paused and I went, yeah, because even the lawyers on the island, they can't handle this kind of mess. They can't handle this kind of, it's a lot. Because you got to think, it's not just one person handing you paperwork, it's 15 organizations or companies handing you paperwork. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they can't get through it. I will also say that, when he asked his buddy, what about the conspiracy theories? He said, well, what about like the blue umbrellas and stuff, man? Like, what are you guys really thinking? And it was still like, I don't know. I mean, because you
Do you
also
guys see the scientific studies where they were showing laser beams going through different colors and it wouldn't burn the blue?
well, so
Here's the picture of the blue umbrellas. If you can see the blue umbrellas right out in front of this building, now the whole building's torched, all the cars are torched, but the palm trees and the blue umbrellas is where it stopped. All the other buildings, all the other cars burnt. It just stopped because of the blue umbrellas.
Okay, so what I teach my students, so this kind of is related, but just backing it up, they're all kind of saying on the island, I don't know, I'm exhausted. You know what I mean? They can't answer if these are what it is, especially those that have been helping and doing the work. I do have a thought about the blue though. So what I teach my students and what I learned as a very small child, I mean, I was learning this stuff by the time I was 8 years old, is that blue, like dark blue,
Mm-hmm.
how Teresa's name is there now and pop up, how our names are. Blue is actually the best color for protection. That goes galactic wise, that goes spiritual wise, that goes any technological wise, or high tech, I should say. That blue is the best you can do for protection. So I actually teach my students to imagine covering themselves in blue light, not white. I was taught that as a very young child. And so the best way that I explain it to them is that blue, like galactically, higher tech wise, spiritual even, because it's all actually the same stuff in a lot of ways. It's kind of like you have a green screen by you, Robert, right behind you.
Yeah.
And put whatever picture you want on that. You can they might see your hand, they might not see your hand. Do you see what I'm saying? Like you can see out, but imagine if you were covered in a green screen. They can't actually see you. They can't actually get to you, right? Or you
Yep.
could project out whatever image you would like. You would mesh in like camouflage. And I also tell my students that it's not a coincidence that the stones at Stonehenge turn blue.
Yeah.
They're not a coincidence. It's because it is the color that it will not be detected. It's your best color to protect yourself. So when all the blue stuff started coming out, the cars, the umbrellas, the homes that are blue, for me, that was my immediate reaction was because something couldn't see it.
Yeah. Well, look at this picture. Burnt car, burnt car, burnt car, blue car.
Yes.
Yep. Bingo.
Yeah.
Yes.
It just makes you,
Over
see this
and
is
over and over again.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's hard not for somebody to put a conspiracy theory to that when you have burnt car, burnt car, burnt car, blue car, not burnt.
And I literally mean that galactically as well. And I'm not talking bad about galactic. They literally use blue force fields to camouflage themselves, to hide themselves.
Mm-hmm.
So
Blue beam.
I know the power of blue. as far as that. You know what I'm saying? That this is actually this is nobody knows this apparently in the world, but that this kind of stuff is a huge representation to me as to that it's how it works.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you can see here in this picture, this, I can't blow it up, sorry. But here's a building. It's got a blue roof. You can kind of see it's blue roof. Everything around it's burnt. Blue roof. Not burnt.
Yeah. It is. Trina, you're very quiet. Go ahead.
No, I'm just listening. It's all what I've seen too. It's the same.
It's
just this is nuts. And I hope people start to really look at what's going on here and start putting some pieces together, because this is going not just Lahaina, this is happening worldwide. We've got some serious weirdness happening. Serious weirdness.
I think for me, Trina and Robert and those who are listening, sincerely, I'm referencing this as our debut as to what are we going to do. Humanity is going to start helping humanity. Is it going to be us on the ground helping one another? Are we going to?
That's the way it's supposed to be, and I think it might go that way. Yeah,
this is our debut, and for me, sincerely, this is our debut, because this kind of stuff is not going to stop. And so I know. Here's the thing. I know a lot of people are starting to what's the word? Start to stock up again. You know, they're starting to stock up for Armageddon or whatever it is. Gosh, what's the term for that? Prep. They're starting to prepare and prep for it. But here's the thing. So like most people that do that, when you're grocery shopping, you buy, extra 2 or 3 cans of something and maybe an extra package of meat or whatever, right? I'm just asking that what you would spend on that, or even 2 cans of something, send it this way. Because if anything, on a global scale, people need to, I shouldn't say need, it's your will, but on a global scale, if more humans understood that we're connected to this as well.
I think a really good idea is like to start getting a message out. Like I said, if we could pull a lot of power away from these big corporations and send the money directly to the attorneys, the ones that the people of Lahaina pick, and then do a major, GoFundMe. Lahaina has chosen their representation. Please donate to help them with legal expenses, and it goes straight to the firm. I mean, that would be like
whatever.
The most beautiful thing is to cut out all this crap, because we just see there's so much theft, and it's not going where they say it's going to, and that's frustrating because these people really need help and they need to rebuild. And I mean, my God, what is it going to take just to clean that up? That's an island. Where are they going to put all that debris? I mean, there are so many issues with this. This is huge. Yeah. It took 64 dump trucks to get our lots cleaned after the fire. 64.
And they can drive away and they can drive back in and they can, I'm not trying to say that. So I know tragedy is going to happen. I know tragedies happen in the past. It's going to continue to happen. It's so vastly different when it's in the middle of the ocean.
That's really mean. This is going to be an issue. They got to pay for barges to get this stuff dumped. It's going to have to go off island. This is big. It's a big issue.
It's huge. Big. And then, I mean, even the agricultural aspect, what is in the ground now? We don't know if this has, we still just don't know. And I think that's the problem too, and that's why I like how I'm doing this as well, is that whatever you need, you know what I mean? Like, just give a list of whatever it is. That's what the money will go to, because I can't decide. We can't decide. We're not even there. And
like I said, the biggest support they're going to need is legal representation to see what they can do to restore, or what that they're going to need, that's going to be the first step for these people, is to legally find out what's happening to their land and their communities, because they don't know yet.
And also, so Robert, can you make me big? Can you make me big, Robert?
Yes,
So,
yes, I can.
is of course they're all tourism, but there are still some shops and craft makers, right? That what I was going to show, like this hang in my kitchen all year round. These are technically Christmas ornaments, but they hang on my kitchen wall all year round. This is from the native wood of Maui. They're Christmas ornaments. Okay, well, that's good enough. They're beautiful. I mean, that's such beautiful, rich wood. And these, like, they're so nice. They're just up. People can also consider not just donating this week, but I'll have links at Stars of the Morning Light when I continue to talk about this, of stores, craftsmen there, that we can order Christmas gifts. We can do stuff like that. And if they come late, people will understand. You see what I'm saying? We can do things like this to help their economy continue, because it's so big, from the lawyers to the cleanup to the rebuild. And you know what? All of that takes time. How are these people, what work are these people going to do?
Yeah.
So these are ornaments. These trees are probably burned down now. These trees, this is all different sacred wood from there. All of it. This is why it hangs in my kitchen. Is exactly sacred wood. And it's probably all gone. This is from Maui. And so sorry. So we also have to think about that. And right now, I asked, so where are these people staying? Because they can't, I mean, you can't even be there. You can't even breathe it in. And so, sorry, guys, I'm going to take a drink of water.
Well, yeah,
the big banyan tree that was like the major tree of life in Maui, that was a sacred tree. They've been determining if it was not going to make it or not, but apparently they just found out the roots are still alive.
Oh,
So
good.
that's
good.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
Sorry,
Tree
guys.
of life. It made it through the fire. Their most precious sacred banyan tree. And it made it. It got burned, but it's gonna be okay. The roots are strong.
But that's the thing too. Will they're fencing off that place. They're kicking people out. They're literally taking that place over, evicting people from their properties. They're not going to.
That's why I said they're not going to let support is the most important thing that we could do, because there's some powers that are very powerful.
They're
trying
not going
to get that land.
They're not going to let them build for 2 years, they said. Well, who can live somewhere else for 2 years before you can come back and build on your property?
Robert, it took us over a year to clean and clear our property, to bust out all the foundations. And it is a process. And that was just one homestead. We had like 68 burn in our community. That took years to get this stuff. We're still rebuilding. It takes a long time. All those people, their lives have been completely destroyed and uprooted. They're going to have to live somewhere else for a time. It's going to be a process to rebuild Lahaina if their land doesn't get grabbed.
Right.
And that's why I'm saying this is the biggest issue right now, is they may be losing even the land. And this is the only thing they have left. And this is what we need to try to help protect if possible.
Yeah. And Robert, you do all the Native American stuff. This is no different, my friend.
No, it's not.
People have lived there generations. They've always been there. They are the natives of those islands. Same as how snatch and grab and kill them with fire, kill them however, right?
Well, I've done a ton of those shows, and
So
every
what?
time when
So
the
what?
soldiers came in, what did they do? They burned all their teepees. They burned their village down. The people ran off into the woods. They had no food, no shelter, no nothing. And then they came out with the, hey, we'll put you on the reservation. We'll give you a place to live. We'll give you a little
Yeah.
food. We'll support you. And the people were like, I got nothing. I'm gonna die here.
Yeah.
So I'm heading that way.
So right now, a lot of them are actually staying in the convention center on Honolulu. Sorry, on Honolulu. They're staying in the convention center there. They've shipped them to different convention centers or stuff like that on the different islands. More so Honolulu because it was not affected at all, right, by any of it. So that is where a lot of them are staying right now. But you got to think of that too. That's a whole separate island from where your home was. And I know it's like, okay, to put it into perspective of I have a roof over my head is great. But think about that. Where your home always was for
Yes.
multiple generations, even though it's just an island away, it'd be as if I'm sorry, I'm getting very worked up. And it is getting hot in here. It would be as if you lived in one state your entire life, your grandparents, everybody just lived in one state, and then all of a sudden you're 2, 3 states away. All of a sudden, and you've lost everything. It is still difficult. So yes, many of them are in convention centers. Some of the hotels on Maui have them staying there, but they eventually want to get them out so they can try to get tourism back in.
Right, but there's nothing to see right now other than destruction.
Right, right. I did clarify, yes, everything's open though. Well, except what is boarded off about Lahana, which we'll talk about. It is open again. People can visit if they want to. I've never been. I do hear it's absolutely fabulous. So anybody that might know somebody that can get there, go take a little vacation there. That you've all seen that black wall, right?
Mm-hmm.
Smoke wall or the ash wall.
Mhm.
It was asked about. They still were not understanding, and it goes back to the legal aspect. They're not
Mhm.
understanding what's going on, especially because they're not allowed to fly drones over it to find out what's going on. They're not allowed to even be near it. I mean, there's guards and new cops and all sorts of stuff. So that's why Trina is stressing, because the reason, Trina, I'm happy you keep stressing it because I was kind of afraid to stress the legal need.
It's the
Because
only thing that matters at this moment. It's
yes,
if they
a lot
can't
of
rebuild
people,
on their land, they need to find a new life. Right now
yeah,
they want to try to go back to where they once were. We don't know if that's even an option until the attorneys can secure that they can return back
right,
to their land.
right,
There's a land grab happening right now with
yep,
these people, and many of the properties have already been purchased.
right,
So once there's a certain percentage of those that do get purchased, the other people won't even if they don't want to sell their land, they will be forced to sell their
right.
land.
Exactly.
So this
Boom.
depends on
Right,
how many of these residents can stake claim
right,
and do not sell their land rights. So
right.
this is the first thing that has to be addressed, and legally, who would have the expertise to deal with
Yes.
this,
And
something
so
of this
thank
magnitude.
you for backing me up and saying it in your own right, because oftentimes when people hear this is going to go to lawyers or legal representation, they back off from donating. They just do because we all think of lawyers as, you know, charlatans and crappy people.
Not when they understand that people are fighting against some of the best lawyers in the
Right,
world trying to grab their land. So,
right,
yeah, I mean, you saw the people that came together with what happened here in Vegas. with the cowboys and how China was trying to grab the land for the solar panel farms and creating and taking our sun and taking and importing our sunshine into China for energy. And, people died over that.
Yeah.
So, but that was a land grab issue. People
Yeah.
are starting to get aware that these things really do happen. And
Yeah.
people didn't think this happened anymore, but no, it does. I lost my next door neighbor to the Loop 101. He got kicked off his property for the freeway. He did not want to sell his property. He did not have a choice. And we missed that cutoff by 550 feet.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. And that's what, so I'm just thanking you because when I was thinking about coming on here, I was like, everyone I've talked to and everyone that my friend Justin has talked to, they leave it with that the most. With don't ask us about the kids, which I'll mention. Because here's the thing, guys, they're still finding bodies. They're still finding. This is not, the numbers are not adding up because they're still finding bodies. They're finding kids in their homes because school was let out early, and because this fire was coming the way it was, the blockades, the this, the that, they're still finding bodies. So I think the talk about that just needs to die down for a while because that it's not helping anything right now. You know what I mean? I mean, parents that are
Unless
missing
the right people that can get the right dogs to sniff out where maybe some of these have gone.
They're just now starting to be able to get in.
I know. How you're not going to find remains. They're incinerated.
They're incinerated. Right.
They're incinerated. Right. So there's like you can't identify a body because when you grab the bone, it's dust. There's no way. No way. So how many of them maybe were bust out of there? Who knows? But bottom line is they could just say they were incinerated and you would not be able to argue that point that was a highly probable aspect.
Right.
Yep.
But I'm saying
highly probable.
The islanders are asking that people stop saying it.
Yeah. Well, they can just see with the numbers, the kids, 200 kids enrolled in class, 200 are doing homeschooling, so many here. Well, they're still missing 2,000 kids.
Yeah.
I mean, the numbers don't lie. What did I could see, okay,
numbers are too high.
Yeah, maybe a couple hundred aren't reporting, period. What about the other 1,800 then?
Yeah.
The numbers are.
Some also like just smoke inhalation. Like they're just they are finding complete bodies. They're also finding bones, like Trina said,
that were right in the heart of the blade, but their structures were still slowly burned by the ashes and debris and the heat. Yeah.
That was kind of told to me, but I can't control what others do or say. Like, there's a lot of talk about that though, but to think they also are hearing all that. They're hearing this as they're feeling the loss, as they're experiencing it. And it's, I don't know if until they are found, that mystery will not most likely be solved. And it's like just rubbing salt in and in and in. So, I'm repeating the words that they're asking and saying, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not us. We don't say all this stuff, but it's bigger networks and shows and whatnot, but it's just, and I understand. So the legal representation is definitely needed. They are in right now, like convention centers, there are tents around that they can get all the stocks and supplies that they need. I'm just trying to think of all the questions you guys might have. And remember and think I'll have links to the stores that are still open, that are of goods that you can maybe purchase a small little trinket for Christmas or something to support local business that is still a part of it, or the craftsman there or something like that And I think too, like Trina, you're bringing up your fire. I think too that we for some reason it's like I don't know, because it's in the middle of the ocean, it's like we feel detached from it or something. I don't know what all that was at the beginning as why nobody was showing up or why the president said no comment or what all that was about, right? But they are still a part of our nation. They're definitely a part of our nation. And you see communities when tragedies happen like that in the here in the mainland, you see communities, shop local, go back,
Yeah, but
you
with
know,
those people are being blocked from entering, there's no way that they can get in. There's no coverage. They're not allowed to see or hear what's happening. So that's the difference. They have a very isolated
right,
situation where they can do
right,
containment very easily and control everything very easily. So
right.
with that, you've got too many people in the United States that come from all different directions trying to help, and they get through. You've only got two roads into Lahaina.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, yeah, exactly.
Period. So
Right.
yeah, that's why it's not that they've been left alone or nobody's reaching out. Nothing can get in.
Yeah, and I think people don't know how. People don't know how. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
I mean
We
that
saw the same thing with Katrina. These people were just left to rot. The things that
right,
went on in that Sundome is horrendous. There was so much no support. Haiti, we've got big issues with Haiti. I mean, Haiti is so ugly, and a lot of that is involving children.
right.
So this is not something that I understand mourning and grieving, but also too there's an awareness that this might be potential. This is not the first time. These disasters seem to produce a lot of missing kids. So
Yes.
it's up for us to be aware to this and pay attention and maybe start doing some of our own roadblocks, finding out who's going where and doing what, because obviously the ones that are doing this for us, there's just way too many questions and we have no answers for
Right.
any of them.
Right. But I'm saying
Frustrating.
now, I mean, if people want to keep investigating that, that's fine. Right now, it is open. We can order things from people to support their economy. We can send money to families. We can get them the legal representation. Right now, we can do that. You see what I'm saying? Right now, we can do that. And I think a lot of people don't necessarily think that they can because it is an island. So we're thinking we can't. But it is all open now. Now, I confirmed it last
Touche, Amber Dawn.
night.
That's a
I
great comment.
Well, I didn't read it. The
Oh,
container of
Yeah.
yeah.
Like I
I
said,
I
it's just this happens over and over again.
I,
I've seen this
I know. I
reported
seen it. I
over and
seen it on
over
a
again.
video where these people were there getting food, and the cops showed up and said, "We're closing
We're
this
shutting
down."
it down. That's
Yeah.
it.
yeah,
Close it up. Get
yeah,
off the property. You're not allowed. Yeah,
yeah,
unbelievable.
yeah,
Which
And yet
which
they said
I
that they told the citizens of Lahaina that 5 of the containers for all the stuff that people had donated to bring in, they were refused to let them bring it into Lahaina. So they told them where the containers were. They were like, go bust the locks, get everything you need. They're right behind this store. Go now. They literally told the people in every media
right,
position they could to go break the locks off those freaking containers and go get your shit because they will not let us bring it in. I mean,
right.
this is not okay.
The update, though, that I'm trying to say is now, as of just last night,
Mhm.
because a lot of this stuff that we're seeing, it's moving so fast that the update that I'm having last night is that all the other islands were able to get the resources there from fishing boats, really. I mean, constant runs, 24/7. That now they have tents that people can go in and get the supplies they need. What I'm saying is the stuff that we're seeing, tragic and horrible. The islanders start taking care of themselves. but they still need help. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And the guys that are standing guard are not the cops. They're the islanders. I mean, my friend even made a joke. He's like, so if you want to send anything, send guns. I mean, do you see what I'm saying? Like, it changes so fast that when I spoke to them first, they were like, we need supplies, but we're running them right now. We don't know if we're going to have enough. They do have enough. Then I confirmed, I said, well, what about when all that runs out and all the other islands are low on stock? Because the everything has to go to California first to be checked and then back to the Hawaiian Islands.
Mhm.
I got a very good confirmation that they will be fine because they have at least 3 months for all of the victims, and the other stores are still perfectly fine. By that time, more will come. So a lot of what we see, I'm literally trying to give everybody an update as of 6 p.m. yesterday. They are getting the stuff that they need. They're saying, I mean, how it was told to me about, I mean, it's one thing if you want to talk about the kids, but it was told to me that please, if you ever do visit, don't mention it because we'll punch you in the face. That's where they're at with it. They're grieving. Those were the exact words. Those were the exact words. If you ever come here and you mention that, we'll punch you in the face. So I'm trying to give the reality of the islanders of what is happening. And the biggest thing is the legal. The biggest thing all of them are worried about is the land grabs. The biggest thing is bringing tourism back, which I confirmed again. I said, is it even open? It's not even open to us to come. And they said, oh yeah, no, it's open. Come on. Not Lahaina, but
No.
just Maui. I mean, they shut down all of Maui. They said, go to Maui because if you can start getting them back to just Maui, they'll start filtering through, you know? So that is their biggest thing right now.
My aunt and uncle, my aunt and uncle were in Maui when it caught on fire. They barely made it out,
Yeah,
actually. It's
yeah,
very interesting that one hit really close to home for me.
yeah.
My
Well,
roommate, she lived in Hawaii for 15 years. She's part of the Ohina Spiritual Leadership Group, International Spiritual Leadership Group, and they're doing a lot of work in Lahaina right now.
yeah.
So I have some pretty
It,
close
there's a
eyes on the
lot
room too.
that very questionable, very questionable. And you can talk with the best, especially if you're sitting around bonfires and talking about it. I think it's more, for me, still at the end of the day is, so what are you going to do? You know what I mean? This is the debut. So I think getting more education, the awareness, talking about it amongst your peer group is good, and making action plans if you need to in your communities, because it's good. If this happens, it's not like we said last week, Robert, when something goes down.
Mhm.
Trina, you're out there in Arizona, right? You're out in Arizona. He's in Montana. I'm in Georgia. When stuff goes down, we're not going to be seeing each other. It's going to be our own communities. You see what I'm saying? It's at first, it's got to be I'm talking about a big fire. And when you
Yeah.
had your fire,
Whatever comes, you're going to have to rely on your neighbors and
right,
yourself. And we're going to have to realize that the government isn't going to be coming to help us like we believe they will. If we can see what happens here, and in like Katrina and Florida's, all these things that happen, the government comes in, but right now they're strapped. They're not going to come in. And if they do, it's going to be for other purposes, and we should be prepared for that. I mean, a fire even if you're a prepper, a fire comes through, it destroys all your stuff.
right.
You are SOL. And then the thing is to pay attention to this, because obviously this has been happening for quite a while. Trina, you've experienced it. People in Paradise, California experienced it. Now the Maui fires. But how do we know that all these fires, and I'm sure all of you've experienced some of that smoke from Canada, that's coming from fires out in the middle of Timbuktu land?
Yeah, and they're seeing them on the satellites. They're lighting up in lines and circles, and they're all igniting at the same time. And you can see this on satellite. Something is not right. There's just so much not right about this.
So let's talk about that for a minute. How many people listening, and you guys can comment too, like how many people here do you have an action plan of when stuff goes down, how you and your community are going to handle it? You and your neighborhood, you and your community. How many of you have that?
I don't know.
I
barely know my neighbor.
It's the first thing I do when I move to a new town. It's the first thing.
Yeah, I don't, like I said, when it happened up at our cabin, everybody came together, but basically everybody had to deal with their own shit. There's nothing else you can do. You got to get your own dump trucks. You got to get your own shit. It's a lot of money to do this stuff. I mean, it's a ton of labor. It's a ton of money. It is rough. And the devastation of losing everything of your entire life.
Yeah.
Right.
37 years of memories gone.
Gone. Right.
Gone. Gone. Poof. Gone. Not one salvageable thing. Not one. Not one. Nothing.
Right.
Yeah.
So I think that's, if anything, if we can take away, if we're afraid of government stuff, if we're afraid of disasters like this, if we're afraid of them messing with us and our property and our loved ones, then I do suggest making an action plan with your community, not just your own. You know what I'm saying? And
it kind of depends on where you live. Like me, my community literally probably has about 8,000 homes.
Okay.
8,000.
Yeah.
Well, start talking.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's like it is, and most people too. They're so oblivious to any of this stuff. They don't even. It's not even in their brain at all.
How many exits in and outs do you have in that?
Only 2.
There you go. You start there. You start with the homes on the both sides of it.
It's so funny though. We're a little bit strange out here, because if they put up the barricades on the road, we'd go right through the walls. We've got Hummers. We've got that's what would happen here. You would just see that the dirt bikes would start up, the motorhomes, the buggies. It's kind of the Wild West over here, Courtney, and there's a lot of people.
Yeah, I'm talking about keeping them out, not keeping you in, keeping them out. You see what I'm saying?
I don't think that would be an issue. That would be really fast. We saw what happened when the snowflakes came to Phoenix. They were here 45 minutes. We disbanded all of them. It was on the YouTube. Literally, our patriots kicked the shit out of them. They only burnt down 6 houses. They were on schedule to do 84 in Scottsdale that night. We got that stopped. Everything they were trying to do, it happened so fast. But you know what? We seem to just work it out as soon as it hits, but there's pockets of it. Not everybody's on board. There's too many people, too many views, too many belief systems. So you got ones that resonate and that are action takers. They seem to find each other and they do what they need to do. But it's a shit show. Maui, those people were trapped. They weren't prepared. They didn't have, the only people that survived were the ones that blasted through the barricades.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes. Oh, and that's what I was trying to say at the beginning of this is a debut. This is a debut. And what Trina just said, those who really made it or made it to their kids, decided to get through the barricade, went past the barricades, didn't follow a leader.
That's right.
That's what I'm trying to say. Talk to the people in your community, find out who won't follow the leader.
Yeah, but I do know enough in my community. I've literally got 3 of the homes in this community owned by my own family members, and they're all young firefighters and police officers, but they're all hardcore. They love family, they love America, they love all that stuff. So
that in the city too. You can do that in the projects. You can do that everywhere.
Yeah.
Hey,
And we knew and we talked about it amongst each other as to who would stand guard, who would do this, who shifts in and out. We have those conversations, and I think community do. It's just it might not get to. It's just not as widely discussed. But now it's time to just start to discuss it, and at the same time, show up for those who were on an island. You see what I'm saying?
I mean, they're in a position that's really tough. That's really, really tough. And you know what? I hate to say it, but Hawaiian mentality, the Ohana spirit, these people, like I said, I can't even process the level of trauma that they're processing because literally this is their culture, their heritage. This is so bigger than just like a normal residential community burning. This is a historical monument that was the capital at one time of Maui. This was a historically preserved place. This is so different than the other places that have burned. This one is so different. So it's hitting the heart nerves of so many people for so many different ways. And Hawaii, you are not alone in your suffering because we feel you.
Yeah. It's so going back to Lucky. Thank you for posting the donation link. I will be getting a list of
Ho'oponopono. I love it, Michelle. That's a beautiful thing we could do to honor Hawaii and the power of the healing prayer for forgiveness. The Ho'oponopono. Ho'oponopono. I can never say that.
I know.
Yeah.
Texting me sayings, and I'm like, I now have to Google how to say that.
Yeah.
But so Lucky, thank you for posting the link. All the money, and that's it too, is because I know people there, I can get it directly there. The red tape, as Trina kept talking about, the red tape in this is so sticky. You know, like if we were, like we were saying, the difference of it being on an island, it just keeps it's huge. I mean, if something like this were to happen to us, if we were dealing with red tape, we would still call up Uncle Bob and Charlie and be like, come here and start with your shovels. You see what I'm saying? It's so hard to support something that's on an island. Like you were about the cleanup, all of it. It's so big.
Well, it ain't like we can just, hey, Courtney, you're on that side of the coast. You load up, and when you stop by our house, we'll load you up with some more stuff. And when you get to the other side there, you can dump it all off. No, it's not like that. It has to go through channels and boats and planes and trucks,
tariffs and taxes and money to do it and money to load it and it's just money. This is desperate situations.
Bureaucracy of it all. Like I said, I probably am on Stars of the Morning Light, my channel. I think I am going to print out because we all need to know it, the emergency proclamation. That is for the United States, all of us. So I'm going to print it out. It's not that big, and I'm going to be covering that at Stars of the Morning Light as I'm getting updates as well from people in Maui of what is happening current. As much updates as I can get. I'm going to read through that with the paralegal mind that I had many moons ago to try to break that down for people, because there's so much that legally that's so difficult. And people are wondering, well, how are they if you're just driving by, or if you want to park and take a picture of the black wall, why are they being pushed away? Well, it's because the cops are saying emergency proclamation, emergency proclamation. I'm going to read it because I have a feeling that that can be used as a precursor to other really bad stuff. So I will read through it and discuss it at Stars of Morning Light. Definitely.
All
Um,
right.
yeah,
I'm, and that's, I'm sure you'll have plenty of updates as you go through, for the next couple of weeks. Um, and I encourage everybody to donate towards that, and you'll keep us all posted, won't you?
yeah. I mean,
Okay.
I'm on Facebook, Instagram, all that stuff. I also have my own channel that I'll be discussing this at. Uh, for those who are interested, I will also be on my social media posting
Mhm.
links to the stores that are still open and
Yep.
you can order from them. There's actually Facebook pages that are doing the same, and and I'll be continuously updating at Stars the Morning Light on YouTube with different links, and also because there's got to be a cutoff time as
Yeah.
to donation. I mean,
So in a couple of weeks, when you cut it
oh
off,
yeah,
you want to come back on and give us an update of what's going on?
yes, and I will, yeah, and I will
Okay.
have where it's all going to. I mean, if
Yes.
we are saying we need lawyers, they're going to know, like Trina said, the lawyers that I can send that money to. Do you see what I'm saying? Like,
Yes.
it's all
Absolutely.
being, it's like, it's fascinating because it's, like I say, it's the debut. And so we're seeing how a whole lot of things fail. We're seeing the signs to pay attention to, right? But at the same time, because it was the islands and their culture is already ingrained with helping one another, when the need came, it started moving real fast amongst the islanders that we weren't seeing happening because nobody was allowed to film things. Nobody was allowed to get there. Nobody was the islander, the people started jumping forward, doing things, but we don't know that. And so it's so interesting that when we really pay attention to this, it's giving us all of the flags to look for. It's giving us all of the things to start discussing with others and thinking and preparing. At the same time, it's giving the world a huge picture of what it is for an entire culture of people, and we're all the same human race, of what happens when they believe generation after generation and they hold it within their heart that you help others. That is a part of their culture. I mean, like I said, my friend,
Ohana. Ohana means family. Nobody
yes,
is left behind.
nobody's right. So we are seeing we're seeing the evil and we're seeing the light all happening simultaneously, but also at the same time covered from our eyes because we're not getting the actual truth. We're not getting what's really going on. We didn't get all of the darkness that was going on. We're still not. And we're not also being able to see the light of these people coming together the way they are. You see what I'm saying? So I think more will be revealed. And in all of that revelation, we can take this as a huge learning experience. And it starts with us also helping our fellow man because what harms them harms us. What we love on loves on us. I mean, this is, if you understand energy, this is all energy. And so it's, even though it's tragic and horrible and we would hope to never see this again, we will. So what are we going to learn? What are we going to take away from it? Are we going to be able to, okay, I know I'm prepping, but I'm going to leave those 3 extra cans that I would buy this week and put it towards this because the sacred people of this sacred land should be able to keep their land, right? This is a huge stepping stone for
Mhm.
humanity, especially here in the States, as far as is humanity going to help humanity? Because we can, I mean, the evil is the evil. We are much bigger. We can, if we come together, it's squashed like that. This is the first time that we could see it actually happen if we come together. Am I making sense?
Yeah, absolutely. Well,
Yeah.
it's getting to be about an hour and a half, and we should wrap this up. I really appreciate all the hard work you're doing, Courtney. I tell you, this is the best thing ever. You're really going to be helping out a lot of people, and we're going to get to watch this, and you're going to give us updates, and we can all resonate. Trina, you got connections to this, so you can resonate with this too. And I'm glad for your input on this, because I think we all know what is going on, but we should be wary that this might happen in our own backyard. And
It's already
now is the
happened in
time
mine. I've already been
yes,
through it. It's
exactly.
no fun.
It's no fun. Exactly.
No, and all of our neighbors and all of the people that lived up there full time for 35 years, we went through this. I've gone through this. I know what this is like. I can't imagine what it would do to Lahaina. I know what it did to our community, because this is where I have my real community. It's not in the valley. It's up in the mountains.
Right.
It's not in the city where I work. So, yeah, it was just devastating. I can't imagine with the culture and the history and just the mindset of Hawaiians I just can't imagine how this is affecting their spirit.
And think about that. That energy is also attached to our energy.
Well, it's I keep seeing every time I think about Lahaina, the energy that comes into me is I see the movie Avatar, and I see the natives being attacked and everything catching on fire, and they're trying to kill their sacred trees. And this is just what keeps going through my heart. And it's like I keep being drawn to just go and touch that banyan tree and just giving it love and healing and life to regenerate and restore and rebuild beautiful Lahaina to something new, but hopefully that resonates and gets back to the people.
The old ways is the new earth. The old ways is, and this is when we come together. I mean, this is just the beginning. And truly,
yes.
And
so see us all holding hands, swaying like the people in around the tree of life in the Avatar, and see that power and see that energy going back into the soil, into the roots, to rebuild and re-strengthen everything that they've lost.
Right.
And financially support them so they can get legal help, because nothing's going to happen without that first.
No. And so Robert,
even
when we can keep following up with this too, do a show. What did we learn? What did we learn out of this? You know what I mean? 6 months from now, how are we wiser and with an open heart and less fear, because we can see us humans we're mighty, we're limitless. You see what I'm saying? We can do a show like that as well, as to what did we learn? What is the takeaway from this moving forward, in good ways and in bad? Learning is the key. Awareness, like Trina said, is the key. And there's so many facets to this one. There's so many layers and elements, that the first is to help. That's always the first. Service to others is always the first.
Did you guys do another beautiful way I've been connecting to sending positive prayer and love and healing energy to Lahaina? Is the community sang a song of healing in their native tongues, and it was on YouTube. So if y'all could find that, this singing and healing prayers of Lahaina by the Lahaina people, and it's very, very beautiful. I would suggest y'all try to find
that. There are people doing meditations for people. I think somebody said that one as well. I know with my patrons tomorrow night, they're learning the power of a pyramid. And so we're going to be using our own sacred pyramids and sending energy to Lahaina and the people Because I have to say, I also think about like the men that I'm communicating with that they still had to work jobs while all night bringing stuff back and forth. This has exhausted everybody's emotions, everybody physically. That it's the whole islands that are experiencing this. And
Yeah,
so,
because you've got over 3,000 people displaced
yes,
on a small little body of water.
we
This is a
can't,
big deal.
like, I live
Big
in
deal.
Georgia. So when something's going on in Florida, I see nothing but Georgia plate or Florida plates coming through Georgia. That we here on the mainland, we go see others. We stay with a grandparent for a night. We can do things that are just not there. And so it's not just those who lost everything because my heart goes to them more, but it's trickling out. And now it's trickling out to us and now it's trickling out. And are we going to rise and be of the light and love that Trina's talking about and send them light and love? Or are we going to continue to demonstrate that we're selfish? I mean, that's really how I see it.
Like I said, the selfishness is not an issue. That's a lie. We've sent
No,
millions of dollars to different companies that haven't sent the money to the people. So that's why people are not donating now. That's why.
yeah,
This is not about Lahaina. This is about what people are noticing with giving their money to these big corporations and
yeah,
nothing helping the people. They're
but
not getting help. I mean, we're sending billions over to across the world, and we only gave the residents of Lahaina $700. Are
right,
you
right.
kidding me?
Yes, but Trina, I've had personal conversations that people have said, "Oh, I can't because I'm prepping." I'm serious.
Mm.
I'm
I get
serious.
it.
Yeah. So when I
Yeah,
say,
I get it.
I mean that. I mean like on an individual. I've
Yes.
had to have these conversations that
Hmm.
prep for this week.
See,
Hmm.
and that's the thing when it
The
happens
money
to
that
those.
matters, though, Courtney, are the big donors, the big ones, like
Yeah.
Oprah and stuff. And they're stealing the money. So
Yeah.
we've seen this over and over again. It's like it's not getting to the people, it's going to other people or wherever it's going. We don't know, but it's not going to the people.
But
So
that's
this is
the
the issue. And these smaller places that can bring money in to people that they actually know in Lahaina to start distributing. And like I said, they'd be crazy not to get one attorney in a class action suit. They
right.
need
Oh,
to pool together with one
yeah.
legal representation
Right.
representing the whole community of Lahaina. They need
This
to figure this stuff out. But
is
like I said,
this is
this is the issue. It is not about people not wanting to help, and there are lots of people who would love to. But now a lot of people are seeing the corruption and our donations and these major companies that are supposed to protect and help people aren't doing it. So
right.
that's where you're seeing a lot of that. They're like, I'm better off to stock my house. So that way, if they show up at my front door, I can feed them, shelter them, and clothe them.
Right. And so we're here right now to talk not about that, but to talk about the other side. That's done with. That's been done with. That's been done with long ago. We've seen it repeatedly. Now, how do we live in a new world? Imagine if this video right here can get 500 bucks or
Mhm.
whatever, 500 bucks. And then somebody else, a small little just nobody like us, gets another 500 bucks. I'm done with talking about the whys. I don't talk about the whys anymore ever in life because there's no point in it. And when I have conversations with people that say, "Well, I got to prep," I I'm done talking to them because they're not open. I'm done talking to them about this. There's no point. You can't see prepping for yourself over $5. That makes no sense. It makes absolutely no sense.
Mhm.
So we're trying to change the narrative. We control the narrative. We control the narrative.
Yep.
So we're changing the narrative right now with donate like this, go straight to them.
It's a better plan.
And because we have to start now, we have to change. All the systems are going to fail anyways. They already are. Most people know this, but they don't know how. So more small people have to step up and do their, sorry, I almost cussed, and do their damn jobs. That's what it is. This is our jobs, is taking care of others. Humanity taking care of humanity. That's the only reason we're here, to love ourselves, love others, and love the planet. It's the only reasons we're here. You know, so I to me, it's easy.
Yeah. $5, people, $5.
Yeah.
It'll help somebody out. It'll go right to them. It's your cup of coffee in the morning. It's some burger at McDonald's. I mean, everything costs so much. $5 is not going to break you.
Right.
Just get out there, and you'll feel better. Giving to others makes you feel better. Try it out. This is a good opportunity.
Thank you, Rob.
Anyway, with that, we're going to have to wrap her up. It's getting late, and I want everybody to go over to Max Vision and check him out, do some remote viewing. Maybe he'll help you out seeing a little bit and using your brain to see what's going on out there in the world, and maybe you can remote view some of the things that may be coming up. Maybe you can remote view the future of Lahaina. Who knows? But you got to practice like anything else. So get out there, do it, go over there, check him out. Here's the link. I got it in the chat. He's got a show on right now. He's been doing. You probably catch one or two. But with that, remember, everybody, go out, donate. This is a passion for Courtney. A lot of people out there need your help. It wasn't just one or two. It was thousands. And they didn't just lose their houses. Some of them lost their children, their lives, their pets, everything they owned, gone. It's a small price. Yeah.
Pictures, everything, baby books, everything.
$5 to you isn't nothing compared to what they lost. Think about it when it happens to you. Will you be waiting for somebody to donate $5 to you? That's the big question. If you think when your house burns down someday, or you get displaced by a hurricane or a flood or a tornado, and you say, I wish somebody donate that $5 to me, and you didn't donate, well, you know what? Shame on you. Don't expect any help.
The principle of reciprocity.
Yeah, the karma will come and get you, man. The karma will come and get you. So with that, everybody, thank you, Trina. Thank you, Courtney. Thank you, everybody in the chat room. Enjoy the day. Go out, make it a great one. Be nice to your neighbor, like we talked about. Get to know your family that lives right around you. Yeah, sure, they're not blood. Sure, they're not this or that, but they're your neighbors. They're right where you're at all the time. And when they need help or you need help, they'll be there probably before your family will.
Yeah.
So with that, go out, make it a great day. Do something nice for yourself, something for your neighbor. At least smile at them and wave and be the frequency you want to receive, everyone. Love y'all. Peace, everybody.